traders, welcome to a special volume profile video on my channel. I know this is one of the most popular topics and the ones that I get a lot of questions about. As you know, volume profile is my favorite indicator or study that I use for my both intraday and swing trading strategies, and what I use daily in the futures market, and then forex and crypto for long-term trading, and that I teach in my courses, etc. And so today I wanted to make a video to address a specific question that I get a lot, and that is, where do I begin my volume profile? As you know, and I'm not going to go over all the types of volume profiles because I already have videos on that on the channel. You can go look them up on my past videos. But if we go, this is TradingView. I use, well, both Sierra charts and TradingView. But for the purpose of this video, we're just going to use the TradingView platform because it's pretty easy and most people is what they use. So in volume profile, we can see we have pretty much four kinds: fixed range, periodic, session, visible range. So these are the four main types. And if we're talking about where should I start my profile, well, obviously we're going to be talking about a fixed range, because periodic is just going to start every weekly profile, monthly, daily, whatever time we put. Session is obviously just going to be for a specific session on whatever market, and visible range is just going to show a profile for all the candles we have on the screen at the moment. So the fixed range volume profile, which on TradingView you can find right here, this is the tool that I use, and I have a little shortcut here on my favorites toolbar, is the fixed range volume profile. So let me put on the whiteboard and let's talk a little bit about what I look for. And again, this is just going to be very general, just mostly talking about where we should hinge it. So the whole purpose of volume profile is, as you know, when you put on a volume profile, you're going to get high volume node areas and low volume node areas. So basically, the areas where we accumulate volumes, and again, these are volumes measured on the horizontal price axis. What this means is, in this area we have a lot of consolidation or candle activity here that has built up volumes in this area, and where we have these areas with low volumes, this is where basically we have impulsive moves that just moved quickly through these areas, and then we have the next big areas where we accumulate volume. So basically, as I've already told you, and you can check out my other volume profile videos that I have on the channel, Introduction to Volume Profiles, and the number one strategy that I use on this, you're going to see on all your charts that all these low volume cuts on the profile always coincide with areas of strong support and resistance. So basically, a high volume node is an area where you have a lot of consolidation and sideways, or just a lot of traded candles through this area. And then the areas where we have cuts is basically areas where we have just very strong support and resistance, and we have just very quick moves through these low volume areas. So what I look for when I look where to hinge my volume profile is I look for confluence. If I have a market that, let's say this is just like a line chart, and let's say this is the line for a market. So if we're right here on the volume profile, just on the chart, I'm not going to get a profile, and I'm not going to go, let's say, here and draw a profile like this. Why? Well, because this profile, I don't have anything here of confluence with where price is at the moment. So what I like to do is I just go back in time enough to capture a price leg where we have some kind of information on the left side that we can then guide us to where price is at the moment. So if we have a market that already made a major rotation down on a higher time frame and we're coming down, then I want to get a profile that covers this entire move up all the way to the present. Some people put a profile where, let's say market is coming like this. Let's say this is a daily chart, so this is a long term over like many months, this whole move. They might put a profile here and finish it here. I tend to just start it here and I take it all the way to the end because I want to see the latest volumes also being included in the profile. So same thing, let's say we have a market that has been going on a downtrend like this and now we're coming up here. Well, I want to use a profile that has confluence to the left. So maybe you can hinge it here or maybe you can hinge it here. Basically, you want to just have information on the left of the chart where price is trading back through, so you can use all the volume profile information that you have here to then guide you into, you know, your trading decisions at the present time on the chart. So if we go to some charts, for example, and you're gonna see, I mean, this is not like, it's not like if you just put a profile here versus like a week before or after, it's not like really that serious of a difference as I'm gonna show you. Like these profiles are pretty consistent. So for example, let's say, and again, this profile, the fixed range, I personally use it on higher time frame charts. Generally on like the 1 hour or the daily time frames is what I like to use them because I like to plot long-term levels on it. So this is good in like Forex and crypto. Again, I use it for day trading. In futures, and I'm going to make a video about this in the coming weeks, I like to always have a long-term profile that I can have important major levels in it, and I use that as confluence with my short-term charts like my 5-minute chart and my individual session profiles. So in this case, we have a chart of the S&P 500. This right here, if we go back to this point, for example, this was the start of the pandemic in February of 2020. This is where we had the huge move down. So for example, I mean, do I need a profile going all the way from here up to here? You know, I mean, I could apply that for sure. And obviously, you know, these are important areas. As you can see, we build up a lot of volumes in these areas right over here. So these are important areas, but price, right now we are here. So right now we're trading at this point on the profile. So in reality, all this stuff underneath for now is not relevant to me unless we start coming down and trading through these levels. Then I think it's important to use this profile right from the crash here in February of 2020. But since we're here, then for me, I'll just push it forward and I'll just go to the areas with the last confluence. So I always like to use a major swing high or low. And so in this case, if we zoom in, you can see this area here, we traded down and we came back down to like about this level right here. So for me, this swing low, it's an ideal place for me to hinge my profile right now. over here, as you can see, right now we are entering this major high volume node. We have this one here, we have a low volume area here, we have a low volume area here. So right now these are the the main areas of interest. You can see we are right at historical support here at the bottom of this node. So for me, this is right now the ideal location that I want to use on this profile. And if the market would move even higher over to like here, well, then in this case, maybe I can just take this and push it into this area now, because now all I really care about mostly is from this move forward and then this move down, basically this last major rotation, let's say. Okay, but again, these things don't make a ton of difference. If you can see, I'm going to put a profile from here, and then I can take another profile, and let's put it from the all-time high to the present. And you can see, even though this profile, it's starting from here, and this one is starting from here, we have a big cut on both at this level. We have a big cut here, and we have a smaller, but still we see a cut here, a smaller cut here, which coincides with this. Here we see have a cut, and we have a cut. So you can see, just the more you pull it back and the more volumes you put, the larger you're gonna get the profile. Well, you can also adjust how wide you want it. If you just go to settings, to style, you can change the percentage of the width that you want of it, and you can just make it stick out more, etc. But you can see the profile, these levels coincide a lot, even if you're using significantly different profiles, the start dates of the profiles. Let's go into a gold chart now, and same thing here. This is a daily chart on gold. Right here, this was the all-time high, which occurred in September of 2020. So for this, you could start a profile right from here. So let's say if I put a profile from here to the end, I have my long-term profile there. But it's not necessary to go all the way far back. We have a lot of choppy action. So we have this whole move down, and now this move up, and now we're coming down into this part. We have a lot of confluence in these areas. So when we have areas like this where we have so many candles chopping on the same levels, I may take it and just come back further in. So let's say, I could even hinge it from this swing high, and now I get just a small profile like that. I could hinge it from this significant swing high, or I can hinge it from this swing high. And if I zoom in, again, you can see how we have a lot of confluence with all the high volume nodes that we have right here. Even if we're using, we can go back a year and a half, we can go back like 8 months, or we can go back just about 3 months, and they're still pretty similar. So in this case, judging by this chart, I would probably use this profile, just because I like the level of detail that we have on it. And then also, this was a very important level of support and resistance. This, you can see, was a very important level of support resistance. So I think this is a really good place of confluence to just start the volume profile from here. And now we have the whole confluence of this base move up and then the retrace back down. So we have a nice defined volume profile. Basically the profile, you just want to be able to easily identify high volume nodes and cuts in volumes. Okay, and then just to finish, we can see a Bitcoin chart, and again this is a long-term daily profile, and you can see I hinged 3 different profiles from 3 different points, and you can see this mostly at the bottom here, they're all very similar. This is a massive level in Bitcoin, right around 28,000. And in this case, if you've seen my market analysis videos that I made recently, this is the level that I am using. Why am I using this profile here? Well, this too also work if we're looking for targets to the upside. We can just see we have confluence on both of them. This move up, this move down, but you know, we're pretty much at the edge of a cliff right here when it comes to this level. So if Bitcoin was to fall down here, I want to have confluence with the next sort of significant area, and that will be this little consolidation at the end of 2020, and then beyond that this other one right here. So I would actually probably pull it back even more into that area right there. Okay, and just put it right there. Okay, so now in this case, now I have a profile that not only covers everything that we have up here from the last year and a half, but we also cover the next 2 major low volume nodes, which are pretty tiny compared to what we have here over 28,000. But again, if Bitcoin was to lose the 28,000 level and come down, then these are my 2 areas I'm going to pay attention to on the profile. So I want a profile that has confluence with these areas as well. Okay, so, and you can apply this to, you know, if you want to just do a profile, let's say for a shorter term, like let's say if we go to pound dollar in Forex, and you just want to apply more of a shorter term volume profile, let's say, let's put a 4-hour chart so I can zoom in. Well, in this case, let's say if you just want a more short-term volume profile just for more intraday trades or just weekly trades, then we can come here and we can just see this and say, okay, the market is here right now. I have this whole move right here, and then above, well, the most significant area is going to be this entire consolidation. Just by looking at this, I can tell that there's going to be a big high volume node here with a huge edge right here, and this is going to be pretty empty on the profile. So then if we go and we put a profile, maybe we put it from the high here and take it all the way to the end. And again, here, if you go to settings, there's a new setting here that's called extend right. If you want to put a profile that just goes from, you know, here to here, then you need to make sure this is not enabled, but I always have this on just so the profile always goes all the way to the end. And so you can see right here, if you just want to do more a little medium term profiles, you can go into a lower time frame, and again I just look for confluence. So this profile, it captures the whole move down, and now we're sort of coming back up. So if we continue up, then I know I have a massive high volume node here to pay attention to. Then I know I have another one here, then I know I have another one here, etc. So in this case, you know, we have massive resistance here. We want to see a breakout a retest, and then our next target would be this next high volume node, etc. And again, I go through all these strategies in great detail in my courses. Plus I also cover some of this stuff in my other volume profile videos here on the channel. But pretty much like I said, the most important thing when deciding where to hinge your volume profiles is just to look to capture major rotations. If we're coming down, then look to capture at least the last major leg going up. And if we are going up, then you want to capture the last major rotation going down, just so you have information to reference on the profile on the left, the volumes that you have accumulated on the left of the charts, and then you can use that information to make your trading decisions. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the video. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe, hit thumbs up, and share the videos. And if you got any questions, comments, or requests for future video topics, also let me know below. Okay, so I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.